Hello dear students, welcome to one more lecture on fundamentals of logic. In my previous lecture video, we learned about the laws of logic and also about the converse, inverse and contrapositive statements. So here we will discuss briefly about the rules of inference. I'll be telling about why we need rules of inference and few rules of inferences. So first we will see about why we need rules of inference. So for that, let me consider the implication P1 and P2 and etc and Pn which leads to the new proposition Q. So here n is a positive integer and the statements P1, P2 etc Pn are called premises of the argument. And the Q is called the conclusion of the argument. After adding all these premises, we'll be getting the conclusion Q here. So we can rewrite the above argument in the following tabular form, like P1 and P2 and P3 etc Pn. The conclusion will be Q here. So from this tabular form, the preceding argument is said to be valid when if the premises P1, P2 etc Pn is true, then the conclusion Q will be true. So it means that, so to get the truthness of the Q, it must be says that P1, P2 etc Pn must be true here. That is P1 and P2 etc Pn which implies Q is valid only when P1 and P2 and etc and Pn which implies for the new proposition Q. Next one is the name of the rule and the rule of inferences. The first rule is called modus ponens. So it is given like P and if P then Q will be given by Q. Next one is law of syllogism. So it is given like if P then Q, if Q then R, it is given by if P then R. The third law is modus tollens. So it is given by if P then Q and negation Q will lead to negation P. Fourth one is rule of conjunction. It is given like P and Q, it will be equal to P and Q. Fifth one is rule of syllogism, distinctive syllogism. It is given like P R Q, negation P, the conclusion will be Q. Sixth one is rule of contradiction. It is given by if negation P, then the contradiction F naught, the conclusion will be P. Seventh one is rule of conjunctive simplification. It is given by P and Q, the conclusion will be P. Eighth one is rule of distinctive amplification. It is given by P and the conclusion is given by P R Q. So we'll see some examples on these rules of inference. The first example is test whether the following is a valid argument or not. So actually the rules of inference will be useful to check the validity of the given statements. So here the statement is given like if Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car is one statement, and Sachin hits a century and the conclusion is given like Sachin gets a free car. So here these two are the premises and this is the conclusion of the given argument. So now the thing is, first I am going to represent the given arguments in terms of P and Q, then I am going to use the rule of inference here. So first let me assign what is the propositions P and Q here. So I am taking the proposition P is equal to Sachin hits a century. Q is given like Sachin gets a free car. So then I am going to rewrite the given arguments in terms of P and Q now. So they have given like if Sachin hits a century, then he gets a free car. So here I am going to use the conditional statement. So I will be getting what? If P, then Q. And next one is, they are given like Sachin gets a century. So here we have to write P and the conclusion is given like Sachin gets a free car. That is Q. So if P, then Q and P, therefore the conclusion will be Q here. So here we can see that we can apply the rule of modus ponens. Right? So in the way of modus ponens rule, we can conclude like this is a valid argument. Problem number 2, test the validity of the following argument. The problem is like this: if Ravi goes out with friends, he will not study, and if Ravi does not study, his father will become angry. And his father is not angry, therefore Ravi has not gone out with his friends. So these first three statements are the premises and this one is a conclusion. So now the thing is like I want to represent the following statements in terms of PQR. So first let me assign what is the propositions PQR here. So P is given like Ravi goes out with friends. Q is given like Ravi does not study. R is his father gets hungry. So these three are the propositions now. So now the thing is like I need to represent the given statements in terms of the given premises. Given propositions. So what I can write? If Ravi goes out with friends, he will not study. That is, if P, then Q. If Ravi does not study, his father will become angry. If Q, then R. Next one is, his father is not angry. Negation R. Therefore, Ravi has not gone out with his friends. That is negation P. So now I am going to represent it in terms of the given PQR. So I will be getting if P then Q, if Q then R, negation R, then the conclusion is negation P. And we can see that to simplify the first two equations, we can use the rule of Sylosium, right? So the argument is logically equivalent by using the rule of Sylosium. So I can rewrite if P then Q and if Q then R as if P then R. I am keeping the negation R as it is and the conclusion negation P as it is. And here we can use the rule, the modus tollens. So from the view of modus tollens, we can say that this is a valid argument. Because it is satisfying the rule modus tollens, so we can conclude like this is the given statements are valid arguments. Problem number 3. Test the validity of the following argument. First one, I will become famous or I will not become a musician. Next one, and I will become a musician, therefore I will become famous. So here I am going to assign the propositions PQ for the given statement. So what I can conclude here, let me define P is equal to I will become musician, I will become famous, and Q is equal to I will become musician. So I'll be getting the what statements like now. Let P be I will become famous. Q is I will become musician. Then the given argument reads like P or negation Q. So since the statement is here or operation, so I am using the or operation here. So I will become famous P or I will not become musician, that is negation Q. Next one is Q. I will become musician, therefore the conclusion is I will become famous. Okay, this argument is logically equivalent to if Q then P. So we can read the conditional statement if Q then P in terms of P or negation Q, right? So that I am going to replace the statement here. If Q then P, then it is Q, therefore I will be getting P. So this is because the P or negation Q will be equivalent to negation Q or P, and it will be equivalent to if Q then P. And in the view of modus ponens rule, this is a valid argument. So hence by using the rules of inference, we can conclude that the given statements are valid arguments here. Thank you.